Hi everyone, Shannon here with Therapy by Shannon and getting some questions answered that were asked by you guys. We've got Lacey Ryan here with us again to answer a question about how to respond to children when they're having super big feelings.
Yes, thank you, Shannon. I'd say that this is probably the primary thing that we work on with families at our practice, Creative Family Counseling. We specialize in working with children. And so oftentimes at that first phone call, parents are calling in saying, my child has anger problems and their anger is too big, or my child is really, really sad or really depressed and their sad has gotten too big. Or my child, and especially right now, this day and age, my child is so scared and my child is panicking and afraid to be away from me and having separation anxiety. And so their scared has gotten way too big. I like to mention a couple of positive discipline tools here. Um, we love positive discipline at our practice because it's a developmentally informed and a systemic way of working with children and families. And so instead of bringing the children in and saying, okay, we're going to work just with you and teach you all the skills of dealing with big feelings. How scary.
Mhm.
And then expect you at the age of, 3, 5, 8, 9, whatever it would be, to go and implement this and be okay and deal with big feelings now.
Yep.
Instead, we really love the positive discipline approach, which teaches co-regulation with the help of a few different positive discipline tools, such as the calm down space. And so, first, I think it's really helpful to know a little bit about what is happening in your child's brain when they have really big feelings. And
Mhm.
so, another book that I love called Parenting from the Inside Out, it was written by Dr. Daniel Siegel. And he has another book too with a co author called The Whole Brain Child. And in those two books, he talks about how our lids flip. And so, this is a biological reaction that happens in our brains. He talks about how this is our brain, and this part of the brain is our prefrontal cortex. And this is responsible for things like emotion regulation and being able to think clearly and being responsible and making rational decisions. This is our really important part of our brain.
Yeah.
And then underneath of this part of the brain is the amygdala and the brainstem. And so what happens when we flip our lid is when we have really strong emotional reactions, whether it be mad, sad, or scared. That this part of the brain, with all those wonderful characteristics, it is literally offline right now. We cannot connect to this. So
Mhm.
if you've ever tried to, tell someone, calm down when their lid is flipped, how has that ever worked?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no. And so we have to respond to what's happening here, fight, flight, or freeze, before we can actually have a conversation and be trying to have a reasonable conversation with someone, especially a child if they've done something, if they've misbehaved in some way and their lid is flipped. First, you have to help them calm down. Then you can talk about the misbehavior. And
Mhm.
before you do this, you're not going to be able to effectively meet your child here.
Yeah.
So I like to talk about how co-regulation is kind of like teaching. It's like the training wheels. You are the training wheels of teaching your child how to regulate their emotions. And
Mhm.
so these are skills that we have a whole lifetime to improve upon. How many of us are adults that still flip our lids
I'm like, how many hands can I raise?
and lose control and do and say things that we regret, right? So we as adults who have fully formed brains still struggle with these skills. Let's give some children some grace as their brain is literally developing and they are learning these skills along the way. And so what co-regulation is having parents your own tools to keep yourself calm and your own ways of helping yourself when you find yourself flipping your lid so that you don't do more damage when your child's lid is flipped themselves.
Mhm.
So, co regulation includes a lot. It includes you taking care of yourself, and it includes you being able to respond to your child in a loving, caring, empathetic way when they are really upset. Now, sometimes if they're really angry, that's hard to do. If they're throwing things and yelling and being hateful to you and trying to hit you, it's really hard to be present. And so, be as present as you can without causing your own lid to flip. So that might look like, you are really angry right now. That's being present.
Yeah.
This is part of co-regulation. It can be so simple as that, is taking a deep breath, taking care of yourself to keep your own lid from flipping, and saying, you are so angry right now. Now, we're not letting them get away with it, right? We're not excusing their behavior. We're not gonna, let this pass. We're still going to address the problem when their prefrontal cortex is still addressed, but we're responding here first. And so co-regulation is providing emotional support when kids are mad, sad, or scared. Now, I don't know for a lot of parents, but for me, it's a lot easier for me to respond to this when it's sad or scared, right? So sad and scared, depending on the child's age, could be co-regulation, could be snuggles, rubbing their back, just patting their leg and saying, I'm here for you, and understanding, letting them cry, not minimizing it by saying, oh, this is fine, this isn't something to be upset about, but just saying, you're really upset right now. I'm sorry you're so upset. And so what happens when we meet children here and provide co-regulation, this prefrontal cortex slowly reattaches. And this is when they're, right? They've calmed down. You're able to talk with them. They're much more reasonable. They can have a conversation with you because this part of the brain has reattached. And so that's when you can talk with them further about what happened, maybe asking them some questions instead of accusations. Of course, not if you start to yell or lose control yourself, that's only going to cause them to flip their lid again too, right? So co-regulation is being there for your child in a way that is empathetic and nurturing, while also informed on brain science, which is really important. Our parents didn't have that brain science when I was growing up. And so this is all really new. And so once your child is back down here, this is when maybe you can have what I call the calm down space, or the positive discipline tool is called a positive time in. And so a positive time in is where you have created ahead of time. Don't create your calm down space when everybody's up here. That's not going to be effective.
Yeah.
But as a proactive plan to have a calm down space or a chill out chair if your kid is older, or teen, just have a space to chill out. So for teens, the things that you might have available in the chill out chair are a lot different. They might be a Spotify list that they can listen to. It may be some art supplies that maybe older kids use. It may be a book. It may be just some time alone, or looking out a window, or time with a pet. With kids, the calm down space could include things like Play-Doh so that they could squeeze out their feelings, or don't do bubbles. That was a mistake early in my career because the bubbles will be thrown.
I was going to say, they're going to be dumped.
I don't want the bubbles. And then you've got bubbles everywhere. But one of those little pinwheels can help. Bubbles can help with breathing, but don't put it in the calm down space, because when they're here, it's not clean. You'll have bubbles everywhere. But if you have a pinwheel, it can teach those same skills of watching the pinwheel blow around. It could be having a favorite lovey or a snuggle. It can be, a blanket, a snack, a drink, any of those sorts of things that might help your child reattach here. And as an adult, you can have your own calm down or chill out space too.
I was going to say, yeah, it gives you the time to do your own things too.
Yeah.
Well.
And so it's really important, if you have this space designated, to not send it to them as a punitive reaction. You're out of control. Go to your calm down space. They're not ever going to use the calm down space. But if you are able to stay here and regulate yourself to say, would you like to go with me to your calm down space, or would you like to go by yourself? And so you're practicing co-regulation while also helping them develop the skills of self-soothing, regulating their emotions, recovering from their emotions, recognizing their emotions. All of these skills have to be developed in kids before they can become, functioning adults who are able to deal with feelings.
Yeah.
And so as kids, it's our responsibility of parents to be those training wheels to teach them these things.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, I think, like you said before, is that while it's modeling for them, a lot of parents are also learning that too. So it is a process that is lots of practice, lots of patience, and just, teamwork.
It is, it is. And another thing that I just love about positive discipline is it really is a toolkit, the toolkit of learning co-regulation, learning skills like creating a calm down space. And so if parents are interested in learning more of these parenting tools, you can head over to our website at creativefamilycounseling.org and check out our parenting package, which is a self-paced at-home package that parents can view just to learn a whole toolkit of
Mm,
positive discipline
that's
tools.
perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to leave the audience with before signing off?
Well, I know that this is hard. It's really hard to keep our own lids from flipping. So just recognize that you are learning skills too. And there's these things in our brains called mirror neurons that cause when someone has a strong reaction for our mirror neurons to reflect that. Right. And
Yeah.
so that's why it's hard when our kids they flip their lid, how it's hard for us not to. So give
Mhm.
yourself some grace as you practice these skills. No parent is perfect, but the important part is that you're learning skills and you're trying to implement them, which will have a cumulative effect overall.
Yeah. Yeah. Over the long run, not just kind of interaction by interaction.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Lacey. And like she said, go to her site, creativefamilycounseling.org, check out their services, their parenting packages. And also, you guys are on social media as well if people want
Yeah.
to.
We have a Facebook page and an Instagram page where
Perfect.
we post. We have another little mini series called The Parenting Connection. And those are just free little tidbits of parent positive discipline tools. But if you want to develop the larger toolkit, the foundational parenting package is on sale right now on our website, creativefamilycounseling.org.
Perfect. Well, thank you again, Lacey. And guys, remember if you have a question for us, just DM us and we will get it answered by a professional in the field. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.